Ladies and gentlemen, in this episode of the G-Shock Watcher, we're going to be taking a look at this particular watch, the G-Shock Frogman Royal Navy Edition. Thanks for joining. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the G-Shock Watcher channel, and thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate your support. And if you're new here, I'll start off with the whole smash everything. Please like and subscribe and share. Really appreciate your support here on the G-Shock Watcher channel to talk about watches, specifically G-Shock watches. So this particular episode will be a short one. I want to talk about one particular watch, and I don't have the watch, but I helped to purchase a watch for a colleague and friend of mine who he and his family are heading over to work in the US. They're leaving Singapore, and I work very closely with this gentleman, and quite often he was well aware of the fact that I'm passionate about G-Shock watches. We had many conversations about G-Shock watches. So I guess this video is dedicated to him and the watch we managed to get him, which was none other than this particular watch, the official Royal Navy collaboration G-Shock Frogman. Now, this is a gorgeous watch, and you can actually see here from the pictures which I asked him to go ahead and actually take. It is a glorious watch. It has that Frogman history, that Frogman heritage, but really leans in and embraces the sort of the greys and the blues, which is really about the whole sort of Navy scene. And if I jump back over to the website, you can sort of see it's designed in conjunction with the Royal Navy. The limited edition Frogman has been built to accommodate the hostile environments faced by naval personnel at sea and on the land. Hopefully they're not parking these aircraft carriers up on the land. That would certainly be very, very dangerous. But absolutely cool watch. You know, like, this is a big chunky watch. We sort of had this on his wrist and having a look at it, and it certainly was no slouch in terms of the size department. But an absolutely beautiful watch. Now, you can't even get this watch anymore. Like, it's no longer available. The only place you can get it is secondhand, and we managed to get this watch for him on the Buy website. Now, this watch came out at £799. You can sort of see all of the watch itself here. We can actually see the box. It is a beautiful box, engineered for the extreme. The unique aesthetic takes inspiration from HMS Queen Elizabeth, the largest aircraft carrier to ever serve in the Royal Navy, which I'm assuming is this particular ship here. A very, very cool watch. The software that it potentially talks about, it does actually talk about, is this G-Shock Connect, which I guess has been superseded by the Casio watch application, and he tells me he's got that up and running and connected on his phone, so he can actually interact with all of the capabilities. So in terms of some of those features that the watch actually has, and I'll have to go back and ask him, it's got a diving log in there, it's got tide point setting, automatic time adjustments. I mean, that is something that all Bluetooth connected G-Shock watches have, the ability to set the time in the phone and just sort of switch as you go. It's also got world time for over 300 cities, a phone finder, and all those different things, which actually works pretty well. So it's a very, very cool watch. And as you can expect, you know, very analog, no digital, carbon core guard, 200 meter resistance. I love the backside of this watch. It's very cool. I mean, this is really where it gets exciting, when you get to sort of see the back plates of some of these watches. You know, today I am actually wearing the Hong Kong Fire Services Department watch, and let's just see if I can get this clear on the watch here as well. But you might be able to sort of see the Hong Kong Fire Services Department logo on the back of this one, right? So I guess another services type watch, but certainly not at the same price as this one. This is a glorious, glorious watch. So the Frogman on the back, the Royal Navy there, and we can see how the dials actually work. So we've got a dive time, we've got current time. This is how it actually comes through. So obviously as you're diving, the seconds hands goes round. Oh, I should switch over. You don't want to see my face. here's our Frogman. So dive time captured, so it's the seconds go round, and then service time, seconds go back. We've got the tide graph here on the right, and the current time at tide point, which is here as well. Sapphire crystal non-reflective coating, Bluetooth and radar controlled solar powered timekeeping. This is just an absolutely beautiful watch. So I guess the interesting thing is, how different is this particular watch than a standard Frogman, right? Because you sort of see these collaborations. I mean, even these sorts of arrangements, it's a collaborative watch. It looks different, but do the features get much different? And so I wanted to go through and have a look at that. So switching over to Shockbase, of course, as our point of contact, I'm going to compare this against the standard Frogman, the GWF-A1000 1A, which is kind of like your I guess your standard for Frogman watches, right? This is the one. There's lots of different other ones you can sort of see below here. There's a fair few other types of collaboration watches here as well. In fact, I have my own Frogman, which we've talked about many times on the channel, but we're going to do the comparison here between this one and the Royal Navy watch. So first off, in terms of releases, June 2020 is the release of this one. This was April 2021. So this came out essentially about 10 months after the release of that Frogman, right? So 10 months later, after the Frogman had come out there, I guess established that particular model, they did this collaboration, and probably the collaborations take some time. Module-wise, 5623, 5623, Series 1000, Series 1000. Don't expect it to be any sort of different between these two watches from that point of view. If we go down and have a look, weight-wise, this is the standard one's 119. The Navy one's 125 grams, so it's a little bit heavier. And if we look at size-wise, it's pretty much the same size. So it's interesting that there is a weight difference of about 6 grams. And be interesting to work out, where does that additional weight actually come from? Sapphire glass is on that Navy one. Sapphire glass is on the other one. Let's switch back and have a look. Bezel is resin. Band is the same sort of thing again. It's pretty much the same watch, but there's a difference in the weight. So I'm interested to work out what is that difference in the weight. It doesn't necessarily say. Let's have a look at features here. The features might give us some more indication. So coming down here, this is our Frogman. This is our standard. If we flick between the two, features are exactly the same. No different. Multiband 6, tough solar, Bluetooth, all those different things. The only difference I guess we would actually find here is price. And the price, as we said, was £799 versus £699 on the original. So £100 difference, but it also just a 5 gram or 6 gram difference in the weight, which, as I said, I'm not too sure what it actually comes down to, because the size and all the measurements of that watch come pretty much the same from that point of view, resin bands and all things considered. But yeah, look, I just want to do a quick video on this particular watch. I thought this watch was really, really super cool. I think it looks great on Adrian's watch. It's got some great heritage there in terms of engineering for the Navy and how that represents up. I mean, these sorts of collaborations are the collaborations which I get really, really excited about. I love to see them sort of work. I love to see the ones that come out. Some of the collaborations, obviously, a little bit crazy, but I think this collaboration with the G-Shock Frogman Royal Navy Edition, this is a solid piece of work. I've looked at it 100 times. I've always wanted to go ahead and actually purchase it, and I'm glad that we got it for my colleague and friend. He loves it. He is a Navy man, so it has some connection in terms of his previous career. So I'm really glad that we were able to get that for him. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for the time to talk about this particular G-Shock. Very, very cool watch. I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to talking about some other watches which are on the way. Thanks for joining. Take care.